A very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani and I warmly welcome all of you to StudyIQ. I hope you all are doing good. Let's have a positive start this morning. Once you become fearless, life becomes limitless. Once you drop your fear, or if your fear drops, all those boundaries that were surrounding you will drop or will fade away as well. This is what we call that when we become fearless, life becomes limitless. With this, dear friends, today I have two special topics for you guys. One is on Jammu and Kashmir, stone pelters, and the second item that we have is this recent storm that we have seen in Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan. So we are going to talk about this two topic here. With this, dear friends, if you want to download the PDF of today's discussion, you will get it from my Facebook page and Twitter handle. Please don't forget to hit the like button. If you learn something from today's discussion, it will definitely motivate me. And you guys are regular followers of this particular lecture series, so I believe you are brand ambassadors of this video lecture. So make sure you share it with other people as well. It will help other people to prepare better for their preparation. With this, dear friends, up to 50% discount is available. This is going to last till 15th May. Right on our pen drive and tablet courses. So make sure you check out StudyIQ.com. Now, the first item that we have is coming from Prime Minister's office, and because we are covering two dates together, we have clubbed this 4th and 5th May together. So you may find Prime Minister news pertaining to or related with Prime Minister or President or maybe Ministry of External Affairs twice as well in today's discussion. So don't bother about dates, right? Dates are not that important. It is the content and the things that are more important. So dear friends, the first item that we have is coming from Prime Minister's office, and Prime Minister said that awareness about atrocities, right, what we find in our society, and it's not just in our society. It is very sad that in developed world as well you find this sort of things, but the ratio is, the number of crimes taking place is a bit low here. It's a bit low in developed world compared to what we find in our country or some other countries or developing countries, right? So when or how can we end these atrocities that are conducted on women in our society, or as a matter of fact in any other society? First of all, we have to create this awareness that this sort of things are part of atrocities. Chasing someone or looking at a woman with not that good look, you know what I mean? So this sort of things, staring at someone and things like that, this all sort of things should be banned. When I say banned, I don't mean to say that we need to have a law on it. It means laws, they don't work in this sort of things, right? It should be part of our culture and society. The other thing is we have to get rid of, if we want to get rid of this sort of atrocities in our society, then we have to take this responsibility. There should be a sense of responsibility in each and every person. It should not be that she's not my sister or I don't know her. No, she is a lady, and it's not that always that man should take a stand. Ladies lot as well, so they should take a stand and things like that, and they do as well. But still, we need support from all stakeholders in our society. So awareness and responsibility, these are two soft keys through which we can change the way things are going on. Prime Minister also talked about this stringent amendments in the laws. We have seen this under 12. If someone rapes a girl child who is under 12, then death penalty will be awarded. Then you have under 16, earlier on 10-year minimum imprisonment was 10 years, but now it is 20 years. So yes, we have seen stringent laws, but still, laws are there, but we need proper enforcement of law. This is very important. The other thing is that trials should finish quickly. 5 months, 6 months, that's it. It takes 50 years, on an average 50 years. We have talked about this thing, I remember. It takes 50 years. So this is something that is not acceptable at all. He also added that government has given important portfolios to women, and this is right as well. You find Defense Minister and Minister of External Affairs, they are women, and I think it was in Hindu Analysis. I can't remember it exactly, but I'm sure I did provided you this question, that how the world would be if we would have all these important leaders were women. The world would have been bit much more friendlier. That's what I believe. That's what I have read in many different from many different sources as well, because of this inherent, this nature, this core nature of feminism. It's more about caring. It's more about on the soft side, and the hard side, this man-lot thing. We have seen many wars and things like that. But anyways, we need a fine balance. We are not here for competition, like who is better. That again is going to be a vicious thing. So right, dear friends, he also talked about MUDRA. He said that 70% beneficiaries of the scheme of this MUDRA scheme are women. And here, of course, he was talking in Karnataka, so you will find a bit of a political touch. But here we are just picking the cherry from on the top of the cake, right? So 9.5 lakh poor women in Karnataka alone got Ujjwala benefit of this Ujjwala scheme. Now you know how it is important. Free gas connection, you have health, respect, all these things are associated. We have talked about it earlier on as well. He talked about Surakshit Matritva Yojana. What do we understand from this thing? That if the mother, right, if the expecting mother is happy, if she is healthy, then the baby will be healthy. And if the baby is healthy, then his or her whole from childhood age, his or her base will become strong, and in future we will have you can say productive human capital. It's important for our country, important for our society, right? Overall, we need healthy babies. For that, we need healthy mothers, and for that, we need to set up this sort of camps. The other thing is Mission Indradhanush. Now remember here that if you see the logo of Mission Indradhanush, then you will find a small baby. But it's not just covering small babies, right? It is also covering women as well. Mothers are covered under this immunization program. So make sure, if you find a tricky question on this thing, then you remember that both mother and child are covered under this thing. Now, news coming from GST Council today unveiled a new simplified tax return. And earlier on, we have to mince the taxpayer. It was a bit of burden, but now they have to pay, or when this system will come in place from then. They have to just file one return every month, just one return every month. So this is going to be less headache. 27th GST Council took this decision, and Finance Minister said that the software on which this new system will work will take approximately 6 months. So till then, the things that are going on will continue for time being. Now we have many benefits of this thing. First of all, the burden of compliance will come down. Improvement in tax collection, which is good for government, good for society. More revenue government can generate, the more it can spend for the development. So faster development, it will make life easier for everyone. It will make GST system more effective. Now the thing is that at present the GST system, something around 51% plus of this GST system is owned by Infosys. Now government has decided that 100% ownership of this GST network should be of the government of India. So it is going to purchase this thing because now we know that important data of different taxpayers is there on GST network. So it is important that government is under or having complete control of this GST network. Now a big question on imposition of cess on sugar. So cess basically means a sort of tax. Now why we need this tax? Finance Minister has said this thing, that the cost price of sugar is more than the selling price. What we find, if you find, say for example, I'm just giving you a rough example, that 1 kilo of sugar is worth 10 rupees. This is your selling price in the market. If you go and buy, then it will be 10 rupees. But the cost price at present is somewhere around, say for example, 11 rupees. So this is of course not profitable, isn't it? And farmers cannot sell it by making loss. So what to do about it? The best thing is government is working on it. Government has formed a group of 5 ministers, and these 5 ministers within 2 weeks time they will decide whether we need, they will recommend the council, whether we, GST council, whether we need this cess or not. So let them go through it, let them do their research work, And basically this says the main agenda here, or the main aim here, is that whatever money you get on cess will be given to distributed to farmers, so that they can earn enough profit. And we don't want to see this poverty in our farmers. Again, this also reminds us about crop diversification. Moving on to another item, President of India was interacting with some students, and he said that there is an urgent need for more medical colleges in our country to provide quality education as far as these medical studies are concerned. There are 67,000 medical seats available for undergraduate courses. We need definitely more than that, because our population is 1.3 billion, and if every year we are making, say for example, roughly speaking, not even 2 lakh, but I think 1.5 lakh doctors, right? So this is not enough at all for covering 1.3 million. So for that we need good quality medical colleges in different parts of our country, and medical education should be made a bit more accessible in terms of affordability. And once we do that thing, then yes, we would be able to produce good quality of doctors. The other thing is that he has talked about medical challenges. He gave this three-pronged strategy. The first item in that thing is, first of all, we have to promote good health practices like walking, eating right, and things like that. The second thing is dealing with the communicable disease, and the third thing that he told about is non-communicable diseases. With this, dear friends, Ministry of External Affairs has got a small update for us, but it is a very important update. On 11th of this month, as we are talking now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Nepal, right? So he is in Nepal at present, and he's going to be there. This is his third visit, and Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli will, of course, chat with our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They will discuss a relationship between both these countries, neighborhood first in that sense as well. This is very important visit for our Prime Minister. One more important thing about this thing is that it's been not even a month when Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli was here in India, and a reciprocal visit to Nepal indicates that relationship between both the countries are very positive. The other thing is we will find a touch of spirituality plus diplomacy here, because the Prime Minister is going to visit Janakpur and Muktinath temple. With this, dear friends, another item, USA and North Korea. USA's President Donald Trump has said, and there is a special video lecture available on our YouTube channel. You will find a playlist called Burning Topics, right? UPSC Burning Topics. We call it Burning. So if you go in this Burning topic, Burning playlist, you will find, if you scroll down a little bit, you will find this potential meeting that is going to take place between USA's Mr. Trump and North Korea's Kim Jong-un. So I have covered this topic from various different angles. What are the things that the world should be careful about, nature of North Korea and things like that. So make sure you go through it today as we are speaking, right? It is Saturday morning, tomorrow is Sunday. So either today or tomorrow you will, I believe, have enough time to cover this topic. So make sure you go through it. It will give you good insight about what's going on. And if you have some strong base, then in future as well, you will be able to understand things a bit quickly. The time that you invest in today's preparation will help you, or will save your time in future preparation. So this is how you become fast. Now many times you hear this students are saying that every day you have to read for 4 hours only or 3 hours only, etc. I'm not going into all these hours things, but when they say this hours, right, generally speaking, the hours would be small, right? They won't tell you to study 24 hours. They will tell you to study 4 hours, 5 hours, etc. And many times students, they wonder, like, how can you finish everything in 3-4 hours? The reason you can finish it is because your base is strong, right? Once your base is strong, then you don't need to go for that many hours. And a good revision, you get enough time for good revision, so more quality. So for that you have to fight with quantity, then later on you will reach a balance of quantity and quality, and then you will be more quality. So anyways, dear friends, so Mr. Trump has said that the date and venue of this North Korean, or this meeting between USA and North Korea, has been sorted out, and very soon he is going to release this details with the people of USA as well as people of the world. With this, he has hinted at imminent news about this three Americans. They are detained in North Korea. President Ramnath Kovind again, he has talked about girl child, and he has expressed his happiness that girls are becoming achievers in the field of education. One of the most important statement coming from a president, and this is again a very important statement that you should keep in your mind, that if we educate one girl child, then basically we are indirectly educating two families. Means this is an investment. This is one of the best investment that you can make, isn't it? If you can educate one person, one girl child, and by educating one girl child, if you can educate two families, so this whole, you can say, chain reaction, right, that will take place. If we want to see our country or our society as 100% literate society, the key is here. The key is girl child, because when she is with her parents, small brothers or younger brothers, elder brothers or sisters, etc., they will also benefit out of this education of this girl child, and in future when she gets married, in her in-laws as well, it will make an impact, and definitely for her kids, right, the future kids. If the mother is educated, then she will educate her kids as well. So this is how it works. With this, dear friends, he also talked about contribution of Punjab and or Punjabi people in Tamil Nadu and things like that. Now the main thing here is, he said that this Guru Nanak College students, right, when this Chennai was going through the flood or facing flood situation, at that point of time, this students came out, this Guru Nanak College students came out, and they provided this community service. And this is something, this is not just about this students, right, it is about culture, what you are being taught in your college or university, right? This is one of the most important thing. Imagine that if we inculcate this helping culture in all our colleges, no matter which college we are talking about, right? May it be medical college, may it be engineering college. If we inculcate this responsibility, or you can say this sensitivity in our students, that they care about society, don't you think that our development will become fast? So this is again a very important thing, that if we want to change our country, then we have to develop this culture in our colleges and in our schools as well. The other thing, and again a very important statement coming from the president, he said the purpose of education is to give back for the betterment of society. Very important statement for your life as well. Learn something from this thing. Do meditate on this statement. What do you understand? How can you give back? There are many different ways, right? You people are means we all are lucky enough. We have to use these words that we are lucky enough, because if you look around in our country, you will find that there are so many people right around us, and they can work as a motivation for us. There are so many people around us, they are not lucky enough to get a good quality education. You and I are lucky enough, and this whole thing should not be based on luck. It should be based on institutions. So what are, through different ways, right, we can contribute it in different ways. Like I am an educator at present, so I am educating people. This is the best, this is something the best I can do, you know. But it's not necessary that everyone should become educator. There are so many different flowers in the garden. So even if you become an IAS, or even if you in future, if you are doing some business or something, then you can help someone, you know. If you are IAS, then it will be part of your duty. If you are a businessman, then You can take out, this corporate social responsibility 2%. You can pay someone's fee, buy some uniform or tuition fee, etc., whatever. But do hold this statement in your mind, in your heart forever, that the main purpose of education is to give back for the betterment of society. With this, dear friends, he talked about this Madras University of Madras. He said that this university is mother of all university because 6 former presidents are pass out of this, or alumni of this university. He talked about the first Governor General of our country, C. Rajgopalachari. Right, this is a GK important information. Who is the first Governor General? C. Rajgopalachari. And the Chief Justices, Sarojini Naidu, you get Durgabai Deshmukh, all this, you can say, big names are pass out, or they are alumni of this University of Madras. With this, he also talked about this fourth industrial revolution. When we say this fourth industrial revolution, we are talking about robotics, we are talking about genomics, we are talking about informatics, we are talking about artificial intelligence. So these are the things that are just around the corner, and we should urgently use them to urgently eliminate poverty, to provide good healthcare, education, housing, energy. This sort of things can be more effective and efficient as well. So we need to utilize them rather than being scared of all these things. We should embrace them and let there be a sort of disruption for time being, but in future it is going to create more jobs and more livelihood opportunities. With this, Union Road Minister Nitin Gadkari has urged Maharashtra, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh to come forward for the development of waterways on river Godavari. Right, waterways, it has its own benefits. It is much cheaper, requires less fuel, less polluting, less investment. So it is beneficial for the whole country. The other thing is the price of goods will come down. China and Europe, they use, roughly speaking, somewhere around 40% of their waterways. We are using not even 2-3%. Here you have this 6 different waterways that we have, national waterways. Of course, when you download this PDF, go through it in detail. We have talked about this thing earlier on as well. It's been a couple of couple of months, or maybe 4-5 months. I'm not sure about it, but I'm sure we have talked about this thing at least 3 times in PIB. So here is number 4, national waterways number 4. This is your Godavari River. Do pay attention to these things, right? You may find this type of questions in your prelims examination. So we have talked about this untapped potential, what we can achieve if we can develop this waterways as a reliable and frequent transport or commutation channel. Vice President is on his visit, or will be on his visit to, at present as we are speaking, he is on his visit to Guatemala, Panama and Peru. You might have heard about these names earlier on, but I have got maps as well. He is accompanied by a high-level delegation, no doubt. So let's see where we find these countries here. Here you have this Guatemala. It is a country of Central America. This is Southern America here, and this is your Peru. And here you find Panama. See, this is a small tiny piece of land, and this is also called Isthmus of Panama. The reason why it is called Isthmus, or what Isthmus is all about, it is a piece of land that is separating 2 big oceans. Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean are separated from each other by this small piece of land. It is called Isthmus of Panama. And Panama, you have this Panama Canal over here. So how it works, or what it does for us, is basically if we want to send something from this portion, this part of the USA to, say for example, Africa, then you don't have to circumnavigate this continent of South America. You can come here, you can take this Panama Canal. It is a shortcut or a connecting thing between Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. So this is how it is beneficial for world trade. With this, dear friends, we are going to, with these 3 countries, right, Latin America, you can also call them Latin American countries, right? We find many songs on Brazil and this football and other songs, quite famous ones. I think one was of Pitbull and I can't remember. Anyways, that's not important. I'm sure you might have heard about this word Latin America, Latin language as well, Bible and other things. So the visit will seek cooperation in strategic areas like space, telematic tracking, satellite fabrication, science and technology, biotechnology. We are also looking forward to enhance commercial and economic profile, and we are going to work or promote pharmaceuticals, equipments of medical, mining, engineering, automobile, infrastructure and other things. With this, NASA has blasted off its InSight. A couple of days ago I provided you some details about InSight. InSight is going to measure Marsquakes. Just like earthquakes, it is going to measure Marsquakes, and this mission is basically about expanding human knowledge. So in future, if we want to send human beings on Mars, whether this is possible or not, this is the main purpose of this mission. And if everything goes right, then on November 26th, this InSight lander will land on Mars. So let's hope and pray for this thing. With this, we have this Pravasi Bharatiya Divas panel discussion, and Sushma Swaraj has said that it has, this rescuing Indian diaspora from all these problematic countries is purpose of her life now, and this is a good energy that she has displayed. She has worked and she has proved this thing as well. So hats off to our MEM minister. Suflam Sujlam Yojana, it is about conservation of water. It is a Yojana of Gujarat, but we can replicate this Yojana of Gujarat in different parts of our country. It is basically about digging ponds before monsoon. So when you have this monsoon, you can get you can store this water. This water can be used, and the more ponds we create, the better, this water table will get recharged. Groundwater table will get recharged. So it's a good scheme. With this, we are here with our JNK, Jammu and Kashmir protest thing, and nowadays we find that our protests taking place in our country, they are becoming more and more violent, which is not acceptable at all. The thing is, in Jammu and Kashmir, what we saw is the stone pelters, right? They attacked a bus. Can you believe this thing? A school bus carrying 50 children, and a small kid, 6-year-old kid, class 2 student second standard student has been hit with a rock on his frontal bone has fracture. There is a fracture. So this is inhumanity, right? This is not acceptable at all. There is no need of throwing or targeting innocent people. Now what they have started doing, they have started hitting kids and tourists, and this is not acceptable. And this sort of protests, right, this stone pelters, they should be dealt with iron fist. We find this sort of statements coming from Chief Minister, but they should this administration should take a proper action. This people should be behind the bars. They are not humans at all. If they are hitting small kids, if they are attacking small, these kids or their school bus. With this, dear friends, extreme weather condition, we know this sand and thunderstorms. It has basically killed more than 100 people in Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan together, and one of the main reason why we saw this many casualties because of falling of wall or collapse of this small houses, kacha houses and things like that, or tree many a times. So why this thing took place? Here is the reason behind it, very important. First is excessive heating, second is availability of moisture, and the third is instability in atmosphere. These are the three factors that contributed to this storm. Now the thing is, we know this average global temperature is going up because of climate change, so intensity as well as frequency of this type of storms are going to be greater and higher in future. IMD has already warned us that this summer is going to be 0.5 degree to 1 degree centigrade higher than last year. So more heat, more chances of this sort of excessive heating, and if it is accompanied by this two other things, then we may see this sort of storm. So what we can do about it? We need to create this proper resilient or mitigation structure. Better planning of our cities and towns will of course help. We need to have some proper shelter area, or you can say in times of this sort of crisis like earthquake or storms or other things, then there should be houses where you have food items, a sort of rescue house should be there. People should be made aware about where they should go if this sort of things do take place. We should have some strong underground buildings, community buildings that should be dedicated for this sort of purpose only. Local authorities should be given free hand so they can decide and design things that are necessary for local, keeping in mind local requirement. At the same time, they should be held accountable. Just keeping them accountable is not going to help. They should be empowered as well. And once you give them powers, and if they are not taking decisions, then you can take actions against them. The other thing is in this high velocity wind zone area or prone area, we can get rid of, or we should not allow high-rise buildings, but we can create this wind breaking barriers in different parts of our city or urban setup. Improved planning and appropriate materials for buildings so that less air conditioning and things will be required, so less heating will be there, or this our cities will not become this heat zones. And we can also think about mandatory insurance just in case. Beg your pardon, dear friends, just in case if anything goes wrong, then this mandatory insurance will at least provide a sort of safety net. That's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for listening. I have 2 questions for you here. 50% discount is available. Last date is 15 March. Make sure you make the most out of it. Again, you are brand ambassadors. Make sure you share this lecture with other people. Don't forget to give us your like if you learned something from today's discussion. Thank you very much for listening. I'll see you all soon. Till then, enjoy your studies. Jai Hind.